Hi. Well, now we've talked about this tech transfer process, diffusion process, roles of grassroots people, roles of the government, how marketing is done and its impact, and how NGOs and non-governmental organizations and all this. And we've talked about biology things. We've talked about physics, computers, and robots, electrical energy generation. There's a whole array of things we've been talking about. And government laws, regulations, roles of anthropologists, sociologists. You need many disciplines. You know, when we looked at that design process, there were a lot of inputs, weren't there? We had cultural inputs, we had government inputs, we had marketing inputs, we had science inputs, and so on. That tells me, and it should tell you, that that if you can, you try to get a holistic point of view or multidisciplinary point of view when you're looking at impact assessment, because you can't see everything, because our minds are limited, our backgrounds are limited, and it's important that other people put their vision into whatever it is that's going on. And I don't think that's anything strange or different. It's pretty much common sense that we are going to acquire true conviction. This goes back to Martin Buber. True conviction from a dialogue between alternatives. Well, what are the alternatives? The alternatives are going to be impact on culture. The alternatives are going to be what's it going to do to us economically? What's it going to do to us psychologically? What's it going to do to us relative, say, our family life, or the peacefulness of our community? How well our gross domestic product is going to be affected? There's just many, many things, and so, to really be convicted about your point of view, you have to be willing to test it against different points of view. And I'm saying that the different points of view have to come from different professional disciplines. It also has to come from people who are just living life as they see it. And because that's who we are. So, you know, there's kind of the intellectual point of view, there's the guy in the trenches point of view, and there's the professional's point of view. And not everybody has the same idea as to what's right or wrong. For example, look at that solar-powered satellite thing. There was a group of citizens that were interviewed that happened to be space buffs. Well, they loved it. They thought it was the greatest thing ever. Then there's a bunch of older people they interviewed, and they said, well, you know, it's too much money going out for something that, and by the way, we don't trust the government, you know, and it's going to hurt our economy, and we're living on fixed incomes, and gee whiz, we don't think this is a good idea. Well, I mean, you know, there's this whole array of stuff. So you need to have access to different points of view so that you can test this, and that's one of the values of being in a group. And it highlights, probably more than anything, the need for communication skills. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in a very short way in the next time we get together. But I want to leave you just with this one point, and that is this. From what we've talked about over these last weeks, and in this section on action, it should become very obvious to you that this is highly multidisciplinary, and communication skills are essential if you're going to have an impact. Well, with that, I'll close, and we'll talk a little bit about communication in our next time together. Bye for now.